That's a nice...
First things first.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to share my experience using Ilford XP2 film. This is the only black and white film stock that can be developed in C41 chemistry, which is meant for developing color negative film. I've used this film quite a bit in both formats, 35mm and 120, under different light scenarios, so I'm gonna show you some example photos and share my thoughts about this film stock. I've shot this film at 400, 800 and 1600. I also successfully pushed this film in 35mm format up to 1600 ISO. It was a few shots I took at a concert. It was a low light, so I had to push my film. And as you can see, the grain is definitely more rough if you'd compare it with 120 format, but it's still acceptable and the image still looks good. I think it's very versatile film. It does have very fine grain. It's very similar to Delta 400. It's much sharper than HP5. HP5 is one of my most hated film stocks, but that's another story. When it comes to black and white photos, I prefer more contrast. I prefer darker shadows and brighter highlights, and I don't even mind when sometimes my shadows will fall off into complete black. So even at 400 ISO, it's still enough contrast. And of course you can adjust your scans and make shadows darker. On this shoot with Ilford, unfortunately, my chemistry went bad, so that's why most of the shots became very foggy. But here is one shot that I took that I really like, and I think that's a good example of happy accident, because the light on Ilford's face was pretty focused and the background went into the complete darkness. I think this fogginess of the bad chemistry actually added a lot of texture into this shot. So this is definitely one of my favorite film photography mistakes that I accidentally did. This shoot with Damon, I've pushed this film to 1600. For the background we used this kid's lamp from Walmart, and for my key light I've used basic LED in a snoot to have my light more focused. Because XP2 meant to be developed in C41, the negatives, they do have some pink tint, and it's totally normal. You have to develop this film as color film, but you have to scan this film as black and white film. And here's when it gets a little bit tricky for people that use labs for developing and scanning their film, because initially on the canister or on the 120 roll it says develop in C41. The film gets developed as color film, and then they scan it as color film as well, which is wrong. Your photos will have magenta cast that you will have to fix in post. Probably you questioning like, why would you get this particular film stock? Because there are so many more black and white films out there in the market. First and foremost, convenience. Maybe you're somebody like me. You mostly work with color film, you develop and scan yourself, and you don't want to get extra chemistry for black and white film. In my area, I can't pour my used black and white chemistry down the drain. I have to dispose it accordingly. That means I have to collect my used black and white chemistry and then go somewhere and dispose it. I don't find it very convenient. What's your experience with this film? How do you like it? Or maybe you don't like it? Please share in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.